Jedlo, Jedlo, underwater hero. Jedlo, Jedlo, defender of the deep. When trouble starts to bubble beneath the seven seas, it's Jedlo to the rescue. Watch out, enemies.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, the doors to the seaside sporting goods store swung wide open. Felix and his father Mike hurried in to buy some last-minute supplies for their big fishing trip. Felix had never gone fishing before and was eager to spend the day with his dad and all his dad's fishing pals. Today, Felix would pick out his very first fishing lure. In the fishing section, there were so many lures to choose from. There were fancy ones, and slick ones, plastic ones, and glittery ones, all sorts of ones. To Felix, all the lures seemed alike. He then reached into the closeout bin and from the very bottom grabbed a dusty red one. The name of the lure was Jedlo. It had small hooks, beady eyes, and such an odd name, it was by far the most ordinary looking one of all. But to Felix, it seemed just right. Felix and his dad made it to the boat just in time. "Welcome aboard, young mate," the men gleefully called out to Felix. "Hope you're ready because the fish will be biting." A whole year had passed since Mike and his buddies had gone fishing, and boy oh boy, they couldn't wait to start reeling them in. All at once, the men hollered, "1, 2, 3, let 'em fly!" The men threw their lines with a mighty cast, and the lures were off. Now the notorious fearsome fivesome were in the water and ready to take charge. They had a well-known reputation for causing havoc to fish both large and small. These lures were a menacing and unruly bunch. Thrasher was in the lead, next followed by Pirate Pete, then Blade, then Pink Molly Mohawk, and last but not least, Crook the Jailhook. Together they would catch their prey. Back on deck, it was Felix's turn. "Come on, son, you could do it!" cheered Mike. But Felix hesitated. He couldn't stop thinking about his pet goldfish at home. He closed his eyes and whispered to his lure, "I wish you could hear me, Jedlo. Please don't let any of the fish get hurt." Then Felix took a deep breath, stepped back, and with a big winding motion hurled and released his fishing line. Whizz! Whoosh! Splash! Piercing through the ocean's surface with a powerful thrust, Jedlo was in. Spinning, swirling, twisting, turning deep into the sea, Jedlo came to life! Jedlo's once beady eyes bubbled with delight at the sights he now could see. The magical world was just below. Jedlo was well equipped and ready to go. He sensed excitement nearby. Jedlo dove down to get a closer look.
"Ready or not, here we come!"
hollered the fearsome fivesome.
"Hey, watch me snatch up this tuna fish!"
boasted Crook the Jailhook. Brasher quickly called out,
"Incoming fish to your left! To your left, Pirate Pete! Go get him!"
"Open wide, Goldilocks, and down your hatch I'll go!"
taunted Pirate Pete. The big golden fish's mouth opened and was ready to take a... Jedlo yelled abruptly,
"Oh no, fish! Don't bite! Don't bite!"
In a whirlwind, Jedlo tangled the lines of the rowdy lures in a nice tight knot.
"Hey, what's going on? I'm all tied up!"
exclaimed Blade.
What are you? Some kind of wise guy or something? Come on, kid. Who do you think you are?
Squealed Pink Molly Mohawk.
"Yeah, who are you, and who invited you anyway?"
Uttered a bewildered Pirate Pete.
"If I were you, I'd let us loose,"
said Thrasher.
"You're crashing our party and spoiling all the fun."
"Get lost, Bubble Eyes. Scram, beat it!"
Crook the Jailhook's voice started to get louder.
"Because when I get my hooks on you..."
The lures struggled to wrestle themselves free, but for now, the flustered, fearsome fivesome would do no harm. The fishermen had no idea that their lures had been tied. They felt a little tug, and then a tightness in their lines. "Fish!" exclaimed the fishermen. "We've got fish!" They began to reel in their catch. Faster and faster and faster and faster! Pull and tug and pull and tug and pull and tug and pull and tug! Their palms began to sweat. Their teeth began to grind. Their grips were weakening. No giving up! They were determined to hold on, but the struggle was just too great. Whoa, 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 whoa! Splash! Everybody went in. Everybody, that is, except Mike and Felix. Felix was stunned. Mike was baffled. Mike shouted down below, "What happened to you guys? This isn't a swimming trip, it's a fishing trip. Get back up here, you're gonna scare the fish away." Meanwhile, Jedlo was in stitches. He couldn't help himself. His stomach hurt from laughing so much. Still smiling happily, Jedlo continued on his journey. Things were happening everywhere he turned. Approaching the seafloor, he saw a lobster living in a peculiar-looking house. Now, Jedlo was no architect, but he sure knew a bad design when he saw one. Inside was Lily Lobster. Even with her powerful claws, she couldn't break out of the house.
Young man, I can't get out. I didn't do anything wrong. Why would anyone want to lock me away in this cage?
Asked the puzzled lobster.
You just got caught in a silly trap. Don't worry, I'll get you out in no time.
Reassured Jedlo, and with his handy seesaw, Jedlo carved open a door for Lily to swim free.
Farewell and thank you,
said the grateful Lily Lobster. As they said their goodbyes, Jedlo heard a faint cry and dashed off to see what it was.
Help us! Somebody please help us!
Cried out a group of sea turtles in distress.
I'm right here. My name is Jedlo, and I am here to help.
Jedlo saw that the sea turtles were covered in thick, slimy sludge. The black goop was everywhere. With his squeegee and a bucket, Jedlo began to wipe the turtles clean.
What a sight for sore eyes you are, Jedlo,
Gasped Sam the sea turtle.
You've come just in time.
It's my pleasure. I'll have this goop off of you in a minute,
said Jedlo.
You know our shells have protected us for thousands of years from all sorts of dangers. But even our hard shells cannot shield us from this slimy goop,
sighed Sam.
We're so grateful to you, Jedlo.
And after one last hug, Sam headed back to his family. In the distance, Jedlo heard the roar of loud engines and began to swim in that direction. Curiously, he noticed there were no fish in sight. Those noisy engines belonged to Medusa, the fishing trawler, and Medusa's giant net was catching everything in its way. Jedlo knew he had to save the sea life. He pulled out his trusty shears and with one quick cut, tore open the net and all the jubilant sea creatures swam free.